guys, welcome to another video, and today we have got episode 3 of Ask Hippo. Before we get into this episode, we finally hit 1.5k subscribers. The special video will be out tomorrow, but I want to say a huge thank you for everyone who has been supporting me up to this point. It really does mean a lot. But enough about that. I'm going to put that to the side. The video is coming out tomorrow. The special 1.5k video will be coming out tomorrow. But today is Ask Hippo. So we actually got less questions than the last episode, but that's no worry. We've actually got some really good questions to answer this episode. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so the first question is actually, what is your ethnicity? Joshua Boss asked this question. I am British Asian, I guess you could say. I'm obviously brown, but I was born in England, raised in England. Yeah, so I'm basically British Asian. Not sure why you would want to know that, but just in case if you did, you now know. So yeah, that's that question done. The next question comes from Jacob Gaming, and he's asking me if the crew will crush Forza Horizon 2 and many other racing games, and what my favourite car from the last beta was. So do I think the crew is going to crush basically every single racing game? It depends what you kind of define every other racing game as. You know, in the past 5 years, I can see it being the best in the past 5 years, but like I can't really see it being better than Underground 2 at the moment. But yeah, I think it will do really well. It probably will do a bit better than Horizon 2 because it's a multi-platform game, and obviously it's being sold on the PC, PS3, PC, Xbox 360, PS4, Xbox One. So straight off the bat, you're going to get more sales. So my favourite car from the beta, I would say, is still the 370Z. I absolutely love that car. Don't know what it is. It's a mixture of the looks and just everything. Love that car. I didn't actually get to play much of the last beta, but from what I did play, it was great. I played with quite a bit with friends and stuff, and it was really good. I really do enjoy using the 370Z. Another kind of honourable mention. I love the Mustang, the Mustang GT. Absolutely love that car. When I put the Shelby colours on it, it just looked absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, to round it up. Do I think the crew is going to demolish all racing games? I think it will be one of the best racing games in years, definitely. And what's my favourite car? The 370Z. Okay, the next question comes from Aston Boy. He said, love the video. Thanks for answering the question. And obviously today's question is, what is the worst racing game you have ever played? Now, this took quite a while to kind of think through, you know, what games I played and, you know, what was actually the worst. Because honestly, I don't really play many bad racing games. But the one game I will say that was absolutely just shit was a game called Blur. I'm not sure if you played it. It was kind of an arcadey, you know, Mario Kart game, basically where you had licensed vehicles. And it was horrendous. It was the worst thing I've ever played. You couldn't control the cars. It was no fun. So if I had to say my worst racing game I've ever played is definitely Blur. If you haven't actually seen Blur, try Google it. I'm sure it'll come up with something. Just like put Blur racing game in. It is the worst thing I've ever seen. It is so bad. So yeah, the worst racing game I've ever played, hands down, is Blur. The next question is from Infinity Gamer. By the way, Infinity Gamer, if you actually are watching this, you need to turn your Google Plus onto public. That's why I couldn't reply to your comment. If I don't reply to your comment, that's probably why. It's probably because your Google Plus is on private. But anyway, he says, do you think you'll ever play and make videos with other people or other YouTubers in the near future? I actually answered something similar last week. I've got something in the pipelines with the Speedway Gamer. Obviously, I'm doing the podcast, which EK Drifter joined, so that's all cool and dandy. But besides that, really nothing else. I mean, the big one, I guess, is Speedway Gamer. We're going to be doing some crew stuff. And then obviously you've got EK on the podcast if you're going to go and watch the podcast. But it's not really gameplay, you know, it's more like kind of just listening to it in the background. But yeah, I guess if you want to count EK in with the podcast, and, you know, if you watch that, he's going to be joining. And then obviously you've got Speedway Gamer with the crew. So those are the two people I'm going to be working with, I guess. Obviously, you got everyone else on the podcast, Martin, Theo, and EK now, all on the podcast together. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Otherwise, like, I'm honestly open to doing videos with you guys if you know, actually make videos seriously and you take videos seriously, and, you know, you are uploading daily. or you know you're doing something across those lines. If you're actually like, if I can see you're putting like a lot of effort into YouTube and you are trying to, you know, get somewhere, I will quite gladly make a video with you, and you know, we'll explore that avenue. But yeah, again, EK and Speedway are the only two people I'm planning to make videos with at the moment. Okay, the next question is actually quite interesting. It's from Roger Fisher, and he says, how do you have the time to make YouTube videos with your homework? This is actually quite interesting. So, as you guys know, I started 6th form at the start of this year. I've been obviously going to 6th form ever since. It's kind of what you do after you finish your main primary education in the UK. And homework for me hasn't been too bad. I'm doing ICT, business, PE, and I'm doing, let's do business. Oh my god, that's so awkward when you forget what you're doing. What was the last one? It was ICT, business, PE, and English. That was it, English. So homework isn't too bad. I kind of make time to make videos, really. I get home about 5:30, sit down, reply to comments, look in the forum, and then it's about 6 o'clock by then, and then I actually sit down and, you know, make a video, and it's usually up by 7, half 7 now, because obviously I don't have enough time. And on Wednesdays I actually got half of Wednesdays off, so I spend a lot of time, you know, actually making videos, you know. I'm actually, on Wednesdays I record the podcast, and then I go ahead and make that video for that day. So I guess the only real explanation is I make time to make videos. If I need to, like when I first come home, the first thing I instantly do is come on to my computer and make a video. Like I don't really do much else. I would say, like, I do go out and stuff, but I kind of make time to make videos. I make time to be on YouTube and stuff. And I think that's the kind of mentality you need to have if you're going to get into this. You kind of need to make time for it, because it does take quite a while to do this kind of stuff. If you guys aren't actually into it yourself, it does take quite a while to make videos. But the only reason I have time is because I make time myself, and I put things to the side and make time, you know, to do this, I guess, for you guys. But that's really the only real answer. Okay, the next question is from Mr. Black Eyes 01, and he's saying, if you're tired of Burnout Paradise, I recommend Most Wanted 2012 because it is the sequel to Burnout Paradise. And then he's also asking me, what is better, a LaFerrari or an Aventador? Personally, ow, that hurt. I just hit my hand against my headset, but yeah, personally, I would rather have an Aventador. If I obviously didn't have the option to sell it on, I would probably get an Aventador, because I just kind of prefer Lamborghini over Ferrari. But obviously, if I could sell the car and literally do whatever I want to it, definitely the LaFerrari, because it costs a lot more. But yeah, simple choice, probably the Aventador. The reason I actually don't like Most Wanted 2012 is just, I don't know, I have tried it, but it's, for me personally, it's not the successor to Burnout Paradise, because, you know, you can't do barrel rolls, you can't do flat spins, you can't do these kinds of types of things. And for me, it's not really a Burnout game, you know, it's a Need for Speed game that has Burnout elements. And I really can't call it a successor to Burnout, because it's not as extreme as a Burnout game would be, if you know what I mean. And I have tried it. I had the Vita version, and I've had the PC version, which I've still got, which I need to uninstall. But yeah, I have tried it, and it's just really not my thing, I don't think. But yeah, I hope I answered your question. Let's get on to the next one. Okay, the next question is from Mad Max, and he's asking me, do you like the Sesto Elemento, the Reventon, and what is your favourite Lamborghini? He loves Lamborghinis. I want to actually do a bit of a disclaimer here. There was quite a few Lamborghini questions for some reason, but yeah, I'll go ahead and answer him. I do like Lamborghinis, actually. At one point, I would say it's probably my favourite car brand. Yeah, I do like Lamborghinis, but recently with the turn they've been taking, because obviously they're like really edgy and pointy and sharp, and I just personally, it doesn't really suit my taste. But obviously they've been taking a really like drastic change with their cars. I do like Lamborghinis. My favourite Lamborghini of all time is probably the 2004 Murcielago. Absolutely love that car. It's like one of my favourite cars of all time. And if I had to pick between the Reventon and the Sesto Elemento, definitely the Sesto Elemento, because it's just an absolute beast. And I guess the Reventon is a bit too sharp for me, if you know what I mean. I'd rather have it a bit more blunt, and the Sesto Elemento is just a tad bit more blunt. But yeah, favourite Lamborghini is definitely the Murcielago, and my favourite car out of those two is definitely the Sesto Elemento. So here we go with another Lamborghini question from Annoying Onion. He's asking me, do I think Lamborghinis are overrated? And what do I think about old cars? Are they underrated? And, you know, and then he's obviously gone and listed some examples, including the R33 and the R34. Now, it didn't really make sense to me when I was first reading this comment, because I was thinking, well, not all old cars are, you know, good. There were some old cars which I really disliked, you know, like, not all old cars are underrated. There's obviously going to be a certain few, like, I think the R33 is really underrated. R34, not so much, you know, obviously it depends, like, what car you're talking about. Generally, some underrated cars that are old, R33, definitely, the old Clio was absolutely lovely, you know, the old RX-8 was nice, you know, even like the Murcielago, the old Murcielago was great. Generally, do I think Lamborghinis are overrated? Slowly and slowly and slowly, they are really dipping off my radar. The more drastic and more ridiculous they get, basically, I'm really starting to kind of distance myself away from the brand, because I just don't like the kind of the motion they're taking. You know, it's really extreme. It's really like sharp, edgy. You know. What they've done with their recent cars, I'm not really a big fan. I do like the Huracan, I absolutely love the Huracan, and that's really just resembles some of the older cars. But what they're doing at the moment, it's kind of it's like a stealth pilot chopper thing. It's just not my type of thing, you know. It's not my taste. I'd rather have something which is a bit more elegant, a bit more, you know, classy, I guess, in a way. You know, Aventadors are kind of just mad. Like, I mean, and Lamborghinis generally are just mad. And they are slowly dipping off my radar. I can see definitely if they are, you know, carrying on this kind of sharp edge look to all their cars, I will probably, you know, not consider it one of my favourite brands anymore, because I just don't really like the sharp look on the Lambos, especially. Like I said, I prefer like a Murcielago, 2004 Murcielago, with the kind of rounded edges. I much prefer that over, you know, like an Aventador, personally. But yeah, that's my opinion on Lamborghinis. I think there's one more Lamborghini question, I might be wrong. But yeah, let's move on to the next question. Oops, I was wrong. There is only one question left, and it's from Brandon Faunch. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. He said, what are you looking forward to in the crew? Now, it's going to be an odd answer, because a lot of people are expecting me to say I'm looking forward to the customization and this and that. I'm actually looking forward to the gameplay and the open world. I can hands down say that that is the most interesting feature for me personally in the crew. The fact that, you know, the open world is so large and the open world is so vast is what I'm looking forward to kind of driving around. Again, like, the customization is great. I'm going to be spending so much time in it, but the main drawing point for me is the, you know, the world. It's always alive, it's always kicking, you know, and then on top of that, you've obviously got the multiplayer and stuff, and then even the story. I would say the story brings me in more than the actual, like, customization. I mean, the customization is great and all, but it's really not what I expected in the first place. That's why I'm kind of looking more forward to the, you know, the gameplay, the world, the story. Not really the customization. Again, it hasn't really got some of my favourite cars in the game. It hasn't really, you know, customization wise, it hasn't really done what I expect it to do. But at the same time, you know, I am looking forward to finally pimping it up, you know, a Gallardo or whatnot. So if I had to say what I'm most looking forward to in the crew, it's definitely the open world, because I just cannot wait to see what they do with that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, follow all my social medias down in the description below, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Peace.